What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mr. Lux, and as you can see, I'm playing NBA 2K11. I just completed the first Jordan challenge, the Arrival, where you have to score 63 points with Michael Jordan and 50% from the field goal. I must say that this particular Jordan moment, Jordan challenge, it pretty much encourages you to cheese with him, because they give you 7-minute quarters and you have to score 63 points with him alone. So with 7-minute quarters, I mean, pretty much just as a regular game, you're probably only getting to like to 65 or 70 points a game. So you really have to shoot a lot with him. But it was very fun playing. It actually, I mean, gave you a whole nostalgic feeling of actually when he played during that time. It was an awesome game, because the cool part was, you know, in real life that game the Bulls actually lost, but in this one we actually won by 1 point. After Jordan, I ended up scoring 67 points, but the last shot that Jordan made, it was from an inbounds pass, and he shot a three-pointer, and he actually made it with leaving 0.9 seconds on the clock. So it was a pretty sweet way to cap the game off. So let's take a look at some of his highlights, because he was player of the game, obviously. So let's check it out. NBA 2K11 Jordan Challenge number 1, The Arrival.
Somebody told me, Jones, you could be the best rapper that ever lived. And I responded by saying that I already is. Have been for years. What the f have you been hiding? Let me guess, somewhere with the 9 to 5.
Okay. Well, the package they showed at the end of the game when they did the wrap up, it was a lot longer than that, but I can go to his signature highlights so we can see more. It was really tough in the towards the latter part of the game, because he was being severely double teamed by Boston, so it really presented a challenge. And for a while, I didn't think I was going to actually hit the achievement on that, the objective, but I was able to do so. So let's look at his signature highlights. We'll probably get more footage from that. So it made it cool when I used the shot stick to perform some of my drive moves. He would do some of his signature moves that he did in that game, or some of the moves that he's mostly known for. Because you'll see, they actually showed it in the last highlight package I showed you, but you'll see I'm going to drive baseline, and I'm going to take the ball around my back and dunk it. So it was pretty sweet, and I wasn't expecting that. This may be it right here. No, that's not it. But that's another one of his signature moves, one of those little backwards toss-ups. So as you can see, I mean, really the best way to get this achievement, you're going to have to do a lot of drives to the basket, either with dunks or layups, at least early on, because that's, you know, it averages out to be about, if you can get about 16 points a quarter, you should be okay. That should leave you with about 64 points for the game, and the objective is to get 63. So if you can kind of pace yourself using that as your benchmark, then you should be okay, because it can get a little challenging. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, the press book, we can see some highlights, or some pictures from the rest of the game. But 2K did a great job. Oh, nice. That's a nice pick. 2K did a great job on trying to capture every player from that era on those teams. Of course, with some players, I don't know if they just didn't have enough reference, or if they couldn't put them in. So you get these generic players too. It's not that many, and of course, it's not really the starters, but some of the bench players may be generic. But other than that, I mean, they did an awesome job, and it's really fun playing these Jordan challenges. I mean, they got a lot of the mannerisms of players. It's just, and yeah, look, it's old school Jordans on. That's the first series when they had the Air Jordan. It was a Sky Jordan if you were size like 1 through 5, and then if you were size 6 and up, you turned into an Air Jordan. I remember that because I had the red and black ones. So it was a fun game. It pretty much had me on the edge of my seat, especially when you turn up the surround sound and the crowd is in it. I mean, it really kind of heightens your awareness and tension when you're playing the game. Danny Ainge. So, and Larry Bird, I mean, he started lighting it up in the 3rd and 4th quarter. So, I mean, I think they kind of give certain players a little boost because they want to kind of make it seem like the actual game. So some players start getting a boost and they start making some shots they probably otherwise would not have made. But it was still a, excuse me, still a fun game to play. Because, you know, Jordan is not really supposed to have a good three-point shot early in his career, and it did show early in the game, and I had to stop doing that because I was so worried about getting these points and trying to get them as quick as I could. And what I realized, I was really hurting myself by trying to shoot three-pointers because he doesn't have a good three-pointer rating when he was earlier in his career. So as I started shooting more, you know, 15, 20-foot jumpers, jumpers from the elbow, then it started to, I started to rack up my points a little bit better. Nice little signature moment right there. As you can see, there's 48 shots from this game. And I think another thing that makes this particular challenge challenging is because I believe the original game went into overtime, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, you know, you had more of an opportunity to score those extra points, but you don't have overtime in this game. They don't start you in overtime, and you know, with X number of points and say, okay, try to get 63. But anyway, that was the Jordan moment. I'm sorry, the Jordan challenge. I keep saying Jordan moment. But let's see if I unlock the Jordan. Because as you play, oh, I did. What did I get? This is the CP3. This is the 4th version of the CP3. So that's pretty cool. What happens is you unlock these different, they have every Jordan that has been made, along with some of his like Jumpman series shoes and some of his signature shoes that other players wear. So which is pretty cool. But of course, I didn't completely do the, well, because you not only do I have to get 63 points, 50% shooting from the field, but I should have got 6 assists. So I only got, I think, maybe 3 assists. So I didn't completely get it. So that sucks. But at least I was able to, you know, play it and get that excitement out of it. So let's go into the, when you go into the Jordan menu option, and you go down to, you can see the Jordan Challenge, which is the screen we just left, but you can also see all the classic Bulls teams, you know, and then as well as the other classic teams that are on here. Do they have the team with Dennis Rodman? Oh, there he is right there, 95, 96, okay. Then right here is your My Jordans. This is where you go to see the shoes that you've unlocked. Now right now I think I've got 4 unlocked. So I have the Air Jordan, what is that, the 18? So I have the Air Jordan 18, and those shoes, they're not just gonna be black and blue. They'll match the color of, and you can put them on any player in this menu that comes up in here. Some players, of course, they are not able to wear those shoes, I guess because of their contracts they have with other companies or with a specific shoe. So you can only put certain shoes on certain players. But pretty much any player that has generic shoes, they can wear anything. Some players who wear Nike, they can still wear these. So you just have to check the player individually and see. So for example, on the Bulls, you notice there's no Derrick Rose. Because Derrick Rose either has his own specific shoe, which I believe he does, or he has a certain agreement with Nike that he can't wear other types of shoes. But let's see, what other shoe did I have? I got the Jordan 20. And here's the CP3. That's a Chris Paul shoe. That's the 4th version. And here's another. Here's 61723. Not really familiar with this shoe. It looks like one of those Jordans from back in the day, but I don't know. But it's still pretty cool. And one thing that I did, so if you go to manage roster, you can add these shoes. So like, take for example, Iguodala. I couldn't add the Jordan shoes to him. Even though he wears Nike, as you can see up here, shoe brand Nike, but it won't. It's grayed out, so I can't change it. So he can only wear the particular Nikes that are in the game. So, which is kind of crazy because you can equip them with LeBron shoes, but it's kind of weird. But you can't do that. But I did do some players on the Celtics. So let's see. Hopefully, I got the right roster files loaded up. Okay, so what I did for Rondo, and another thing they kind of did better this year was when you do custom colors, they make them match a little bit better, and they're not so deep and dark where you doesn't, like if you put a black shoe on a player, last year the shoe was completely black. I mean, you couldn't see any of the design on the shoe, just the stitching or anything. So this year they kind of made an update with the color palette. So this is the his home shoe that I put him on. And then I decided to give him a green shoe. By default, when he was wearing this shoe, was black, trimmed in green. But I said, let me just switch it up just to do something different. Let me see. I think did I do Paul Pierce as well? I don't think I did Paul Pierce. No. So Paul Pierce, I don't have custom colors on him, but this is how the shoe looks by default. And as you see, it's black, trimmed in green. I think I gave Garnett a different shoe. I think I gave him Adidas, I believe. Oh, I must not have saved it. But let's do it this way. So now you can see how this looks. So by default, Garnett is generic. And I want to say, I thought Garnett was an Adidas guy, but I'm not really sure. But with this, you can go with Nike, Adidas, and then here's the Jordan. So you can equip the Jordans from here as well. And then you go down here with the different types of Jordans, and you can decide which ones you want to give them. So it's pretty cool. You know, I think I'd give him Converse. I mean Adidas. I think that's what he wears. I could be mistaken, but you know, so be it. So I'll go ahead and save him with that. But I know I updated Shaq and Nate Robinson, so let's check them out. Now this music is crazy. Yeah, so Shaq, for some reason over the past 2 games, NBA 2K10 and this game, they give him generic. And I've always thought Shaq had his own shoes. I believe he used to be signed with Reebok. But anyway, I decided let me go ahead and give him some Nikes. Sometimes Shaq wears some loud shoes. I mean, his whole shoe would be like a big red color or whatever. So I decided to give him the Jordan Old School 3. So, you know, so it kind of, you know, it's pretty cool. I mean, if I wanted to give him Reebok, of course Reebok is in the game right here. And I could say, you know what? Okay, I don't like Shaq wearing a black Reebok because he's kind of out there with his colors. So I can go here to custom colors, change it. See, change his trim color. And these colors over here, these are supposed to be the colors ideally to match the team. Sometimes they're not. So I can give him that. See, and I can even go over here and change that to black. Or if I wanted to even, you know, kind of be creative, I can give him a little touch of gold in the shoe. So when they wear their gold jerseys, he can kind of match. Or I can just say, hey, you know what? Let's stick with the same colors we've been doing. Let's go with that. Let's go one over. Okay, and then for his away shoes, when you do custom shoes, they always give you a dominant color. So I want his dominant color to be green before I start the trim color. So there's the green. And then I can go over here and do the black. And then I can do this and do the black for that. So now Shaq has the all green shoe and he's with Reebok, and there you go. That's how you do it. So that's kind of like a brief, you know, I kind of gave you a double whammy on that when I showed you the Jordan challenge, and I also showed you a little bit about the customization and with the Jordan shoes and with all the other shoes. Thanks for watching. Expect more footage.